What if your study music isn't actually helping you study? And the weird part is, it might make you feel more focused while you're learning less. Lo-fi beats, classical music, white noise, brown noise, binaural beats, even 40 hertz focus tracks are everywhere. But when researchers actually test background music and cognitive performance, the answer isn't nearly as simple as this sound makes you smarter. In fact, sometimes the music is the problem. Start with lyrics. If you're reading, writing, or memorizing something, your brain is already processing language. Now add someone singing different words into your headphones. You're reading one sentence, while your brain is hearing another. That's a pretty obvious competition for attention, and research has found that music with lyrics can interfere with reading comprehension in some situations. So maybe instrumental music is the answer? Not quite, because instrumental doesn't automatically mean distraction-free.
If a song is loud, dramatic, constantly changing, or just really catchy, you can still end up following the music instead of the material. You know that moment when you're halfway through a page and suddenly realize, wait, what did I just read? That's the problem. But here's where things get interesting. Sometimes music doesn't improve your actual performance, it just makes studying feel better. And honestly, that's easy to confuse with being more productive. A playlist can make a boring assignment feel less boring. It can make your desk feel familiar. It can even help cover annoying sounds around you. Those things may be useful, but feeling focused and performing better aren't necessarily the same thing. Now, what about classical music? You've probably heard of the Mozart effect, the idea that listening to Mozart can make you smarter. That idea became much bigger than the original research actually justified.
Listening to Mozart isn't a shortcut to higher intelligence or better grades. Music can affect mood and alertness, but that's very different from saying classical music gives your brain a special boost. Then there's lo-fi. Lo-fi can work well for some people because it's often instrumental, steady, and predictable. But there's nothing magical about the label lo-fi. If you're constantly noticing the beat, changing tracks, or waiting for your favorite part, the music isn't background anymore. It's part of the task. Now, let's talk about white noise and brown noise. These aren't really music. They're consistent sound environments, and some people use them to mask distracting sounds around them. But research doesn't give us one universal best noise for studying. And those binaural beats and 40 hertz focus videos, this is where you should be especially skeptical. There is research investigating binaural beats and auditory stimulation, but the results are mixed, and the effects depend heavily on the specific conditions. Research involving 40 hertz stimulation is also exploring specific cognitive and neurological effects, but that does not mean a 40 hertz YouTube playlist has been proven to make healthy students study better. So what should you actually listen to? For reading and memorization, start with silence or simple instrumental audio. For repetitive work, music may be easier to tolerate. And whatever you choose, keep it predictable enough that you eventually stop noticing it. But here's the most important test. Don't ask, did this playlist make me feel focused? Ask, what do I actually remember? Because that's the difference between feeling productive and actually learning. The best study audio isn't the one with the most impressive title. It's the sound that stays in the background while your attention stays on what you're learning. Sometimes that's lo-fi, sometimes it's classical, sometimes it's white noise, and sometimes, honestly, it's silence.